radioactive spider blood, all of that. Spidey-Man, obviously, a lot of people love the Spidey-Man. It's true, it's the Spider-Man. Well, with that, chat, let's go ahead. We got to go ahead and get into the scene by scene breakdown of Spider-Man, the Animated Series, Episode 3, The Return of the Spider-Man. So let's pick it up right after Episode 2. Actually, they even say it's been months. It's been months since Spider-Man's battle with the first of the Spider Slayers created. They do a whole like last time on Spider-Man. Fucking, you had Spencer Smythe, chat. He was working for Norman Osborn. His son, his legs don't work. He got linguini legs, chat, because Spencer Smythe, he did a horrible experiment, explosion. Kid now has linguini legs, and he's got to get him in a hover chair. And who makes the hover chairs, chat? It's Norman Osborn, Norman P. Osborn. He makes the hover chairs. But here's the thing, chat. Like, Norman Osborn, yeah, I want to capture Spider-Man for the good of, of New York City. He's a menace, as JJ says, but no. Norman has some alternative motives. He is, in fact, working for the Kingpin, chat. He apparently got a hell of a loan from the Kingpin. And the Kingpin says, all right, to pay me back, you need to either give me your entire company or kill Spider-Man. Norman's like, fuck, man, I want to keep my company. I like my company a lot. I got to help Harry out. You know, he's my son. He's going to inherit this shit someday. My wife's down. I don't know what happened to the wife. They don't really go into what happened to his wife, chat. And, the Kingpin's like, all right, well, fucking kill Spider-Man. Norman's like, done deal. That fucks up. That goes sideways, chat. Spencer, he dies in a fiery explosion, chat. Not looking good. And so Alistair Smythe, chat, he's now working for the Kingpin. And he's like, I'm going to fucking kill that Spider-Man, chat. And I'm going to go after anyone he's ever come across or been associated with. That includes J. Jonah Jameson. That includes Flash Thompson. That includes other people whose names escape me at the moment, chat. But we'll get into it as we go. Eddie Brock's in this episode, chat. He will become Venom later on. Eddie Brock, he's having a shit time, chat. He's not... Now I can see why he has so much resentment towards Spider-Man. He brought it on himself, chat. But I could see why now he was just like, I want to kill that guy. Now you get it. On episode 3, chat, I understand now. Even though Spider-Man saves his life every other episode. At this point, pretty much every episode back to back. Saving from the Lizard, chat, saving from the first Spider Slayer, and then saving from this new Spider Slayer. But chat, this episode opens up, and Peter, he's using a payphone. Remember those, chat? Remember payphones? He's talking on the payphone to dear Aunt May. And Aunt May, she's just trying to set Peter up with a good woman. He needs a good woman to take care of him in his life. And she's trying to get him to date, Show, thank you for the 20 biddies. Appreciate it, man. Hey, guys, stay healthy and safe. Absolutely. No, you too, Show. Absolutely, you too. Thank you for the support. So Aunt May, she's just trying to set Peter up on a blind date with Mary Jane Watson. Peter, she has a great personality. Peter's like, oh, geez, a great personality. And I bet she looks like a horse, too. He wants nothing to do with Mary Jane Watson. He's like, listen, I want Felicia Hardy, okay? Kind of fucked things up with her last episode. She thinks I'm a coward, thinks I abandoned her to the Spider Slayers. But I'm going to try to work on that. Aunt May, I'll think about it. So he hangs up, chat, and he's web crawling. He's, web swinging and all that. And then what happens? He's attacked. He's attacked by the Black Widow Spider Slayer. And he says, I thought I destroyed you. I threw you into that vat of acid, chat. That was months ago. So again, establishes months have taken place after that episode too. So it's like, okay, so getting a sense of a timeline now. He's been Spider-Man for quite a while. And so he's battling this thing, chat. He climbs up on a satellite like tower, like an antenna, and he says, oh, it's a microwave antenna. Are there fucking microwave antennas in New York City? That sounds bad. That sounds like there's a lot of radiation being poured into, New York City, Chav. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to manipulate this microwave antenna. And you see the animated microwave beams hitting the Spider Slayer, Chad. It's like all fucking it up. And he's like, oh, good, I've defeated. But while that's happening, Chad, he's attacked by another Spider Slayer. A much bigger one. This one's purple. This one looks like a crab thing. And he's like, that's not good. And so he's battling with them both at this point. He's like, this is just so overwhelming. He eventually, he's like, I just got to get the hell out of here. So he throws like a little spider tracer on it. So it's like, wherever this thing goes, I'll be able to keep track of it later on. And then, chat, we cut to the Chrysler building, which, is home. Apparently, it's the home base of the Kingpin, his criminal empire. And we see Alistair Smythe. He's controlling all these Spider Slayers. And Wilson Fisk, he was very nice to Alistair a couple months ago in episode 2. He's like, oh, I knew your dad. Great guy. Was an associate of mine. You know what? I'm going to help you out, Alistair. I'm going to get revenge. I'm going to help you get revenge on Spider-Man. Well, that whole facade is fucking dropped. Because Kingpin's like, if you don't fucking kill him, I'm going to turn you into a Brundlefly Spider Slayer monstrosity later on in, like, season 2. So you better fucking kill him for me. And Alistair's like, and he's cocky, Chad. It's like, don't worry about it, Wilson. I'm going to take care of this. And Wilson, you better. And then Wilson Fisk, he waddles over to his elevator, Chad, and he goes up to his office, and he's like, well, I'm sure you'll take care of it. You probably should watch what's going on, Wilson. But he doesn't, Chad. And I was like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch. I'm going to get him somehow. So as this battle is happening, chat, they go ahead and make sure, yep, I'm keeping track. Eventually, Spider-Man, he notices that some stupid family gets in the way, and I was like, oh, geez, the robots, and they're freaking out. And the dog, that they have like a dog named Trooper, chat. I don't know why they felt the need to say Trooper was the name of the dog, but he runs off in the street and he's barking at the big kind of blue Spider Slayer, chat. We're gonna say the Aquamarine Spider Slayer, chat. It's barking. Spider's like, ah, shit. He saves the dog, chat, and the Spider Slayer just knocks him out of the goddamn sky, knocks out Spider-Man, grabs him, chat, and they fly off to the Chrysler building. So Alistair Smythe, everything's coming up Alistair Smythe at this point. He's really happy about the situation. I love this too. The Chrysler building, like the top of the Chrysler building constantly like folds outward, and so you can clearly see there's like robots and supervillains and shit coming in and out all the time. But no one in New York, notices that. They're like, whatever. Wilson Fisk, he's a philanthropist. I'm sure whatever he's doing is fine. And so all the Spider Slayers, they fly in there, chat, both the Black Widow and the Aquamarine Spider Slayer. And Spencer Spider's like, hey, I fucking got Spider-Man, hell yeah. And so he goes ahead and he puts him in this little contraption, chat. And he's got his, his wrists, secured here. Body's entirely secured. But before, Alistair Smythe, he could have easily just killed him. He could have just called down Wilson Fisk. He's like, hey, I got him. Crush his fucking skull. Do what you did in, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, spoiler, chat. Wilson Fisk beats the shit out of him and he just dies. He's dead in that movie. It's like in the opening 15 minutes. Spider-Man's dead. He should have done that here. He did not. He's like, you know what? I still want to like murder people, but in like a big old group. And so he goes ahead and he calls J. Jonah Jameson, who's not the biggest fan of Spider-Man. He says, JJ, I have Spider-Man right here. It's a good story for your newspaper. JJ's like coming in there like the next half hour. He's like, whoa, you got him. And Alistair Smythe says, yeah, go ahead and check him out. And like JJ is just about to take off Spider-Man's mask yet to reveal who he is. But before he can, he gets captured by a Spider Slayer. And he gets put into one of those little contraptions that Spider-Man's in. And JJ's like, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? He's like, you, because of your rivalry with Spider-Man, my father, the great Spencer Smythe, he died. And so I'm taking my vengeance out on Spider-Man, on you, on that idiot Eddie Brock, on Flash Thompson, who that impersonator who was also responsible for my father's death. I'm going to kill all of you tonight. Again, could he easily killed Spider-Man right here, Chad. There's no question about it. But fucking monologue, he's doing the whole villain thing. And so, I don't know, very complicated. He's like, I'm going to fuse a bomb to Spider-Man and JJ's wrist. That's like, they're stuck together. And so it's going to go off at some point. And I guess I'm just going to throw you back in the city to die. Eventually, Spider-Man, he's like, all right, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. He fucking escapes, chat. Him and JJ, they get out of there. But JJ's very upset by the situation because he's stuck with Spider-Man. He just wanted to be stuck with Spider-Man. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. And Spider-Man's like, the fuck you are. And he literally carries him around while web swinging. JJ's just screaming his head off, chat. Does not want to be there because now Alistair Smythe has sent out the Spider Slayers to various other people, specifically Flash Thompson and Eddie Brock. And so the Black Widow is currently going after Flash Thompson, chat. And so we see that Flash Thompson, he's talking up Felicia Hardy, which again, I would personally would not have done, because if we saw it in the previous episode, chat, Felicia Hardy, she might have been dating Flash at one point, but she went, fuck you, I'm all about that Peter Parker. And he literally sees Felicia Hardy just smooching on Peter Parker. And so if I was like Flash, I was like, fuck this, fuck her. I am better than that. But no, he's going right back for Felicia, and Felicia, she's just teasing him. This is like pre-Black Cat, but she's just teasing him, chat. And Harry Osborn, he walks out, and he's fucking awkward as hell. He's like, how's it going, Flash? It'd go a lot fucking better, Harry. If you weren't here, he's like, oh, okay. And so Harry, he runs off, chat. And then what comes up? It's the fucking Spider Slayer, and it's gonna just destroy Flash. And Flash, he's like, fuck! And he fucking pushes Felicia out of the way, and he runs off, chat. It uses like a grappling hook thing on him and gets his legs, but right in the nick of time, chat. Right in the nick of time before this, the Black Widow can literally just eviscerate Flash Thompson. Spider-Man's there. The Spider Slayer happens to have like this laser beam. There's no guns in this show, chat. Everything's like a laser gun or a laser beam or like a gas grenade. It's all that shit. This thing happens to have a laser beam. And Spider-Man has like, hey, fuck it, I'll fuse this thing off of us. We'll cut this, and then we'll be able to escape. And so he forces JJ's. What he should have done is just put fucking J. Jonah Jameson there, cut his arm off, and go, it would have been a lot better. But no, he basically the beam is powerful enough where it cuts one of the sides off the bomb. JJ's completely free, but Spider-Man still has the bomb attached to him. And so he manages to Spider-Man manages to shut down the Black Widow. JJ saves, Flash Thompson safe, and he's like, well, fuck, there's another Spider Slayer out there. Alistair Smythe in his monologue and said he's going to go after Eddie Brock. So I'm going to go to where I think Eddie Brock is. So he starts web swinging trying. Meanwhile, we cut to Eddie Brock. He's talking to the editor of the Daily Globe, I think, Chad, the Daily Globe. And the editor's like, listen, I've heard like a lot of bad stuff about you. Like JJ, he put out a piece that's like, do not hire you. He says that you don't check your sources. You put out a lot of fake news, Brock. And we know this paper can't have it. Brock's like, listen, man, I need a job, man. I'll suck your dick. And the editor's like, I would like to get my dick sucked, but I am in need of a reporter. If you keep your nose clean, Eddie, you can stay on. Hey, Brock's like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir. And then when he says that, fucking Spider Slayer, chat. The Aquamarine Spider Slayer, it busts on in there. It's murdering all the reporters. It's laser beating everyone to death. And Eddie's like, if I was Eddie Brock, I would have said, oh, it's coming after me. But of course he says that, chat. And the editor's like, what? It's coming after you? And it breaks into the editor's office, chat. Fucking knocks the editor off. Fucking explodes into blood and viscera. He's fine. Just gets a little bit of a bump on the head, on the old noggin. Eddie, he runs out of there. But thankfully, just in the nick of time, Spider-Man shows up. He disables the Aquamarine Spider Slayer, chat. But Eddie's still pissed. Spider-Man, he saves him. He's like, listen, Brock, the last thing I want to do is save you, but I have to, okay? That's what I'm doing. So sit tight. I'm going to take care of this. Defeats the Spider Slayer, chat. But then who walks out of the Daily Globe office, or what's left of it? It's basically rubble. He says, Brock, you're fired. So nothing's coming up Eddie Brock. And Brock, he just sees Spider-Man. He's like, I'm gonna get you back, Spider-Man. In some way, somehow, I'm gonna get you back. And we know what's gonna happen, chat, in the future. We know what's gonna happen. Then we cut back to Alistair Smythe, and he's like, it's all part of the plan, baby, because he is just doing the finishing touches, chat. He's just doing the finishing touches on the ultimate Spider Slayer. It's the Scorpion Spider Slayer. This one is just green, just a green Spider Slayer, and he sends out that big boy, chat. And eventually it combines kind of like very Zord-esque, chat, like Power Rangers. You get the Aquamarine one on top, and you get the Black Widow on top, but it's not like a cool, it's like morphing into something. No, they're just literally layered on top of each other, so it looks kind of lame. I would have preferred if they all kind of combined into like a new Spider Slayer, chat, but they didn't do that. They didn't do the Power Rangers-esque transformation. And they're like, and he's like, all right, well, I'll get Spider-Man eventually. That bomb is still connected to him, so it's got like 20 minutes left, chat. I'm just gonna send these guys out to kill the last guy I want them to kill, fucking Norman Osborn. He's the guy that got my father and I into this mess. I'm gonna go ahead and kill him. So he sends the ultimate trio Spider Slayer to Norman Osborn's factory, chat, his headquarters. And Norman apparently has tanks. And he has drone helicopters, chat. And he's like, I'm going to defend I don't know how he got the permits for this in New York City, chat. It's very odd. But he sets all this shit up there, chat. He has the security guards, and they're shitting themselves. They're terrified. It's like, oh my God, what's happening? The fucking Spider Slayer starts attacking, chat. Takes out the tanks, takes out the drone helicopters, murders all of the Oscorp employees, all the security guards. But Spider-Man, he arrives in the last minute, chat's got about like 15 minutes, 11 minutes left on the little bomb device. He's like, this is not good. event, he's fighting with the Spider Slayer, chat, trying to avoid it. He goes into the factory because remembers this is the same factory that produced the acid that could only penetrate the shell of the Spider Slayer. So I'm gonna go over there. He goes to they still have the acid vat there, Chad. He does a little drip on it and it breaks off. Oh no, it doesn't do that. It's the nitroglycerin. I was wrong, Chad. That was a different factory. He goes to like a nitroglycerin tap. He sprays the bomb with that and he breaks it off. He's like, oh, I'm free. And then, Chad, he goes, like, the Spider Slayer, it fucks up Norman's factory. Norman's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so he goes into his car, Chad, and he just drives off. The Spider Slayer is like, foremost target identified. I gotta kill that cornrows motherfucker. And so he's flying right after Norman Osborn, Chad. Got that wave and everything. Easy to detect. And so Norman, he's on the Brooklyn Bridge. He's like, oh, I got away. Spider Slayer catches up to him, Chad, starts blasting him and shit. Spider-Man's like, I'll save you, Norman. He's like, you may be a son of a bitch and want me killed, but I'm going to do this for Harry. It's all for Harry. Drags Norman out of the car, Chad. He's fucking knocked out of shit. Drags him over, sets him down. He battles with the Spider Slayer, Chad. He plants the bomb on the Spider Slayer, and boom! It's like seconds left. Boom! All the topmost Spider Slayers, they're blown to smithereens. The big one, the Green Scorpion one, fucked up, Chad. And you think, oh, maybe it has a little life in it. It does not. It falls into the Hudson Bay, Chad. Falls into the Hudson Bay. Norman Osborn, he comes to and he just like, huh? Guess I just saved myself because I'm Norman Osborn. I can do anything. I got that goblin formula inside me. I put it in my tum-tum. I'm doing okay. And then, chat, we cut back to Alistair Smythe, and he's like, fuck! And that, chat, who's behind him? Well, you always know when you hear the theme song, chat, when that organ starts playing, you know who's right behind him. It's the big man, chat. It's the Kingpin. And Wilson Fisk, he puts that fucking bear paw on Alistair Smythe, and he just starts rubbing. He's like, you're gonna work for me for a long time, motherfucker. And that's it, Chad. The Chrysler building, it closes up, Chad. And Kingpin, he's like, I got a new boy toy for me. You're gonna create a whole bunch of robots for me in the future, Alistair. Oh, Darkseid, thank you for the 10 pennies! Dr. Evil would be proud of all the... A lot of lasers, man. Not any sharks, like, heads or anything like that, but there's a lot of lasers on, like, black widows and aquamarine crabs and scorpions, definitely, but no sharks. But yeah, Dr. Evil would appreciate the laser beams. And so, Kingpin, he's fucking happy. He's got a robot guy now. Alistair's like, fuck, I kind of fucked up. And then, chat, we cut to, like, Spider-Man, we cut back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like, fuck, this is a lot, man. His suit's all torn to shreds. Like, I gotta go home and repair my suit. And I'm pooped. And then he goes back home, Chad, and he's on the knitting machine. He's like, I gotta make all these, alterations and everything, fix up. You should have, like, a whole bunch of suits, not just one. But, Chad, here's a knock on the door. And he's like, oh, what? Oh, Aunt May, what? Do you need some Aunt May? She's like, oh, Peter, your date's here. She's going to be here soon. Mary Jane's like, fuck. The girl with the great personality, wonderful. And he goes to the door, Chad, and he's like, oh, Aunt May, I don't feel so good. She's like, oh, and she's like, she puts her hand to his head. He's like, well, you do feel warm, because he just fought fucking 3 Spider Slayers. He's a little exhausted, a little tired. And then, Chad, fucking, here's another knock on the door. She's like, that's Mary Jane. Peter, be it, dear. Go get it. And he's like, ah. He goes there, Chat. Opens this goddamn door. And what does he see before himself? The Mary Jane Watson. And he's like, humana. And what is the first line out of her mouth, Chat? Face it, Tiger. You hit the jackpot. He's like, the hell yeah, I did. And there you go, chat. That was episode 3 of Spider-Man, the animated series, the 90s animated series. And him and Mary Jane, they're going to get to smooching, chat. Felicia Hardy, she's a girl of the past. She's old news. He's all about that MJ right now. Her and her weird yellow sweater. But kind of like, good jeans and cowboy boots, Chad. That's the outfit she'll wear. It'll be a perfect match for Peter Parker's weird aquamarine light blue striped shirt that he rocks throughout the entire show. They don't change clothes in this, chat. It's like Scooby-Doo. They don't change clothes all that much. But hopefully you enjoyed the review, chat. Episode 3.